Groundhog Day by Amy Margaret. It's Groundhog Day. Every year on February 2nd, people throughout the United States get up early to find out whether a groundhog will see its shadow when it leaves its burrow. This holiday is called Groundhog Day. According to tradition, if a groundhog sees its shadow, there will be 6 more weeks of winter. If a groundhog doesn't see its shadow, tradition has it that there will be an early spring and the groundhog will stay above ground. If a groundhog sees its shadow, tradition says that there will be 6 more weeks of winter. The groundhog. A groundhog is a small, furry mammal. It also is called a woodchuck. It lives in an underground burrow that it digs for itself. Most groundhogs live in Canada and the eastern United States. A groundhog hibernates during the winter. A groundhog is an herbivore or plant eater. It has sharp claws and pointed teeth. An adult groundhog is about 15 inches, 38 centimeters long, with a 6-inch or 15.2 centimeter tail. Groundhogs eat seeds, roots, and grasses. The origins of Groundhog Day. Before there was a Groundhog Day, February 2nd held another meaning. Starting around AD 350, Christians called the day Candlemas. On Candlemas Day, Christians remember Mary and Joseph's first visit to the temple with the infant Jesus. It is called Candlemas because many carried candles to honor Jesus' mother, Mary. In Germany, people believed that on Candlemas Day, a hedgehog could predict how long winter would last. Candlemas Day is still celebrated today. This woman is praying to honor the day. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania is where Groundhog Day started in North America. In the mid-1700s, Native Americans called the area Punxsutawney, which means the town of the sandflies. Over the years, Punxsutawney became Punxsutawney. In the late 1790s, German settlers brought the tradition of Candlemas to Punxsutawney. They believed a hedgehog could predict the weather. There were no hedgehogs in the area, so they adopted the groundhog for tradition. This is a postcard from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Greetings from Punxsutawney, home of the groundhog. The birth of Groundhog Day. On February 2nd, 1886, people in Punxsutawney gathered to watch a groundhog peek out of its hole. He was named Punxsutawney Phil. The local newspaper carried an article about the groundhog that did not see its shadow. This was the first official record of Groundhog Day in Punxsutawney. The next year, Gobbler's Knob became the official site for the groundhog's festivities. Gobbler's Knob is a wooded area on a small hill outside Punxsutawney. Punxsutawney Phil, shown in this picture, makes his Groundhog Day appearance. Punxsutawney Phil. Since the 1800s, Punxsutawney Phil's name has been passed down to each groundhog that inherits his job. Today, Phil lives in Punxsutawney in the Groundhog Zoo. The zoo was built in the mid-1970s. Phil, his mate Phyllis, his cousin Barney, and a few other groundhogs share the home. Phil spends most of his time sleeping and wandering around the zoo, except on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil spends most days sleeping and eating. Groundhog Day, however, he is the center of attention. Punxsutawney Phil's predictions. Phil has been predicting the weather since 1887. Of the times he has popped out of his hole to date, Phil has seen his shadow 90 times and has not seen it 14 times. There is no record for 9 of the years. During this time period, Phil has predicted the weather correctly only 39% of the time. Even though he has a fairly low accuracy rate, the popularity of Phil's predictions continue. They are front page news in many English-speaking countries around the world. In this photograph from 1985, Phil has just seen his shadow. That means 6 more weeks of winter. Other groundhogs. Many states have their own groundhog to watch on Groundhog Day. The people of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, believe that their town is the groundhog capital of the world. They watch for their local groundhog, Jimmy, to appear each February. Canada also has a few weather forecasting groundhogs. The most famous one was Wharton Willie. He was an albino groundhog. From 1956 to 1999, Wharton Willie had a 90% accuracy rate on his forecasts. Wharton Willie, shown here, was Canada's most famous groundhog. Punxsutawney today. A 1993 movie called Groundhog Day is set in Punxsutawney, although it was not filmed there. The people who made the movie used some of the same store names as those in Punxsutawney, though. They even used the Groundhog Head garbage cans and official Groundhog Day flags that lined the small town streets. Since the movie, more than 30,000 people have traveled to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania each February to see Phil, Punxsutawney's own groundhog. This is a scene from Groundhog Day, with actor Bill Murray standing in front of a set made to look like Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney. There are many ways that you can celebrate Groundhog's Day. If you live near a place that has its own groundhog, you can watch the event in person. You also can watch for the groundhog shadow on television. After the groundhog's prediction, look outside and make your own weather prediction. You also can watch the movie Groundhog Day. However you celebrate, remember that this holiday is an important part of American history.